here with Modestas Bukauskas, who returns to action next weekend on June 17th at UFC on ESPN 47. Modestas, how are you?
Yes, doing very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on once again, mate. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
How did I do with your last name?
Bukauskas.
I feel like I feel like I'm getting better, bro. Every single time I talk to you, I feel like it's getting a little bit better.
It's getting cleaner. Do you know what I mean? It's getting smoother. He's doing good, man. Don't worry, mate. You're doing you get a pass from me, mate. You get a pass.
Hey, that's all I need. That's all I need in my book. Awesome. Well, you're about a week out. How are you feeling?
Feeling really good. Obviously, training's tough towards the end of camp, but I call it a training camp. It's not even a training camp for me. I just train all the time. Do you know what I mean? I'm always trying to fire on all cylinders. But obviously, as you're trying to get the weight down a little bit more. But yeah, man, I'm feeling sharp. Is what is the best way to say. And I'm feeling sharp at the right time.
Mm, awesome. All right. So it's been about 4 months since your win over Tyson Pedro at UFC 284. I just want to ask, man, how relieving was that to get a win back in the UFC, right? Like it was on short notice. You were cut once before, so it was your return fight. There was all this pressure on you. Like, how relieving was that?
Yeah. Obviously, when they read the scorecards, initially I was like, oh, if it's a split decision, we don't know what the judge is going to say because I have had one fight taken away from me before, which I felt like I won. So, but yeah, as soon as they said unanimous decision, I was like, there's no way, there's no way they can't give it to me now because I knew I at least had 2 rounds in the bag. But yeah, when I got my hand raised, it was just yeah, just an accumulation of all the emotions because within such a short space of time, like in a space of time that for me was like unfathomable. 16 months from horrible knee injury to being cut to winning the Cage Warriors belt for the second time and then getting back to the UFC and winning at the same time. Like I was like, if you would have asked me, would I be doing that, 16 months prior, I would have said you're freaking crazy. Or I at least would have thought, potentially it might have took a little bit longer. But I was just very fortunate and lucky and happy that everything happened so quickly. And I feel like it was all part of God's plan. What's really interesting is that I did like a documentary with one of my friends. I've been getting loads of footage over the course of the comeback, and one of the footage it specifically says, it specifically has me saying on there. He goes, what are your goals like, within the net? I said, well, by 29, 30 years old, I should be back in the UFC. And then lo and behold, here we are. So, yeah, to get my hand raised in Australia, to have the crowd cheering me on the exit was very special. And obviously, I shared a moment with my dad backstage, just because we've been through a hell of a lot. And do you know what? It's funny you say pressure. I didn't really feel pressure. I felt more enjoyment, embracing the environment, embracing being back, embracing the whole situation. Like I'm back where I'm supposed to be. I felt at home. So that just made it more. It made me want to perform better. So in that regard, it just made me want to do more and just be more myself, which led me to be relaxed as opposed to tense.
And that was your first fight in front of a UFC crowd, right? Because all your other fights were behind closed doors with no crowd. So how did that feel?
Mate, I tell you what, it's been a dream of mine to walk. Like every time I look at the video of the walkout and I just see like 14,000 people sitting there, like watch. Obviously, a load of them were booing me, but hey, it's all good. It's all part of the game. But I enjoy, like I said, I enjoyed it. I embraced it, and it was amazing. Like it's exactly what I expected it to be, but more. Like I don't know. I felt like a true gladiator. Like I felt like I was Maximus Decimus Meridius coming out with his freaking sword and his shield, and the crowd are cheering. Like, do you know what I mean? It really does make a difference. When you hear like the oohs and the ahs and even hearing them cheer for the opposing guy, like it was a mad experience, mate. I'm not gonna lie. I really cannot wait to fight in front of a big crowd again.
Well, you're going back to the Apex, and I just wanted to ask, like, the last time you were in that building, your knee got destroyed. So, like, is there any Like, is there like PTSD, or is it like that's in the past? Like
Not at all, mate.
you've already moved
I'm full
forward.
of yeah, I'm full of excitement. I'm full of confidence. I've been training really hard. This is my moment, you know. This is almost my time to flip the script on the past situations, you know. It's almost my time to rewrite history, you know. Um, those past performances were just kind of not my well, you know, maybe the Oleg Shachuk fight you could say was not a bad performance on my behalf, but everything could have been better. There's things that I needed to change. There's things that I already at that point needed to fix, and I didn't fix it then. But those losses helped me to fix those things. So I'm feeling much more confident. I'm actually really enjoying and really, like I say, it's just you're hearing me say these same words over and over and over again, like embracing the moment, you know, enjoying the time. But it really is like you I don't know. I'm just fully appreciating all the blessings that I've been given. And going back to the Apex, for me, it's a chance to say, okay, what happened before ain't going to happen again. We're about to change this whole story right now. This is the time to change it. This is the time, like I say, to rewrite history in my own head. And this is where I feel like the turning point of the story happens, where I go out there and put on the performance of my life at the Apex, where, you know, before, like, you know, like the hero of the story before he had a good time, and now this is his chance to go back and fix everything, like Rocky and Clubber Lang, you know.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Well, let's get right to it. Fighting Zac Pauga. As of right now, you're kicking off the fight card. I just want to know what do you think of the matchup?
Well, let's not get it twisted. He's a skillful athlete, you know. Um, he's very well rounded in every area. Nothing that for me particularly stands out as being like, oh my gosh, wow, this attribute is spectacular of his. Everything is good. He's good. He's well versed at everything, but not like outstanding in anything. You know, he's managed to accumulate a skill set in a very short space of time, considering that he's been doing other sports and then you could say come into the game a little bit late. Um, I've been watching him for years, you know, because I've been watching him for a while because he was fighting on Cage Warriors as well at one point, and that could have been a potential matchup. And then it just so happened that we all just ended up going to the UFC. So he's a good fighter, but I have areas of my game that would mitigate his game, and not only that, I'll be able to outshine in many areas. I believe I'm much more skilled, I'm much more dangerous, and ultimately, I'm going to get the job done. Like I say, he's very talented. He's a good athlete, but he's just not as good as me. He's just not as good as me. And I'm going to prove that on fight night.
His last fight was kind of boring, which is kind of weird because he usually goes out there and sparks people. But like, do you look at that fight and kind of like analyze it? Where like he was fighting Jordan Wright, everybody finishes Jordan Wright, or Jordan Wright obviously finished that. But like, do you look at that fight and like he wasn't able to finish Jordan Wright?
Well, every fight is different.
Hmm.
I came into the Khalil Roundtree fight expecting a different Khalil Roundtree,
Hmm.
and he came in there all guns blazing, the Khalil Roundtree that we know now. Um, Also, a Khalil Roundtree that's coming a bit more of like a savage, a bit more of a vicious man. And that transformation that he has, I feel he's almost gifted me this same transformation from that injury. So, you know, with him, he could fight one fight really aggressive, really crazy. You know, every fight is different. You can look at game tape as much as you want. They will have their tendencies. They'll have their things that they like to do the most, and you're going to watch out for them. But they could change everything. You know, they could change everything on the night. He was able to get into the clinch on Jordan. He was able to control him against the cage, and yeah, you know, he did his job at the end of the day. Jordan couldn't handle the pressure that Zac put on him, and obviously in the smaller cage, it worked to his advantage. So um, I kind of I'll expect if he wants to stand there and land in the pocket with me, be my guest. You know, I'll be more than happy to stand in there and trade. And at the same point, be my guest if you want to try and hold me up against the cage. If you want to try to take me down, let's go. Let's see what kind of tricks you got up your sleeve there. Um, every fight is different. So I'm expecting him to have certain things that he's going to do, but at the same time, he could completely change it. And it's my job to adapt on the fly, which is exactly what I'll do. I'm going to be like water, mate. Do you know what I mean? Whether you flow or crash, you've got to be able to go. You've got to be able to go where the waves are going, and then when you find your moment, you throw the earthquake, you throw the tsunami out on them. So yeah, that's what I'm looking to go and do.
What do you predict Zac gonna do? Do you think he's gonna stand there being with you? Do you think he's gonna try and grapple you, or do you think he's gonna try and mix them all together and make it a mixed martial arts fight?
You'll probably end up mixing it together. You know, that's what I expect. It's an MMA fight at the end of the day. Like I say, I don't necessarily predict certain things before the fight because I know anything could change. But yeah, from what it seems like, look, he's got powerful hands. He does wrestle. He does want to take against the cage. So I've seen him get back up to his feet. I haven't seen him so much. I've seen him on top as well, do his work. So yeah, like I say, he's got an all-rounded game, but he's not spectacular in any area, which is why, as I say, I've been doing this game for longer than he has. So that's where my experience will actually outshine through here. Although I'm younger, I do have experience in the game, and yeah, with my skills and my attributes, they will trump his.
This is the second fight back at light heavyweight. Do you cut a lot of weight to make 205?
Mate, I cut at least 40 pounds. No, I'm joking. No. I'm joking. I cut like, yeah, I cut a little bit. It's not like I'm a massive light heavyweight, but I'm not exactly a small light heavyweight either. I think my body has developed slowly over the course of time. So, uh, I still have to cut. It's not like before where I literally just turned up and I'm on weight. Now it's like, okay, I do have to cut a little bit. I do actually have to do some of that. But I stay lean all year round. I'm ready to fight all the time. I'm ready to go on 2 weeks' notice. I'm that kind of guy. I'm ready to go at whenever they tell me to. So that's where I'm at. The weight cut is never an issue.
All right. At the end of the day, June 17th, how do you get your hand raised?
I'm gonna get my hand raised by finish, by any means necessary. I can take him to the floor and finish him on the floor. I can strike with him from standing and finish him from standing. But I just see myself within the 3 rounds, taking it to him, bringing pressure with pressure, fire with fire, go in there with our shields and our spears, butting heads with each other. But ultimately, I'll be the one that'll be raining down the hammer from the gods. And yeah, so I see myself winning by finish. And I see myself winning by strikes, within the 3 rounds.
Love it. I love it. I want to ask, say you get in there, don't take much damage, don't get any injuries. Like, are you gonna stay in shape for maybe like a short notice call for London, or are you looking past that?
It's getting very stacked, bro. I've had many times where I've kind of hoped for, and sometimes you can sit there and maybe something comes up, but there's no light heavyweights on the card. I'm the only light heavyweight now from London because Paul Craig's moved down to middleweight. So essentially, they would have to find me someone from, and a lot of guys have got other matchups, so it'd be very difficult to do that. I take things as it is. I take things fight by fight. Now that I'm in the UFC, I would love to take short notice fights. 100%. I'm always going to stay ready, provided there's no injuries and whatever comes up next. I'm ready. I train all year round. I'm not blowing up in between fights. I'm not going too crazy on the party life. I like to enjoy myself, but I don't go freaking balls to the wall, like going mad in between. So I want to become a better mixed martial artist through and through. And I realized that patience is a big part of this game. When I was sitting there with no fights, just recovered from injury, like, oh, I just want to fight, just want to fight, just want to fight. It was a blessing in disguise. I had to wait. It was a blessing in disguise. I had to wait till November to get the fight against Lee Chadwick and it was on like 4 weeks' notice. So these things, I'll just be ready for whatever comes up. Like I said, I doubt there'll be a London matchup. However, I will be there attending for sure. But yeah, man, we have to get the job done on June 17th. Then everything else will fall into place.
Awesome. Modestas, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
My man.
I always love chatting with you. If you want to plug your social media, plug any sponsors you might have, and if you want to thank anybody, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So of course I've got to thank oh sorry, social media at MODYB24 for Instagram. Twitter is at Baltic Gladiator. Yeah, and obviously first and foremost my dad. We all know the big man behind the behind all the success. Always been by my side, always helping me with everything. Um, True inspiration, angel on my shoulder. Also, Danny Batten, amazing coach, another big part of my development as a fighter. Also got to thank Will Curry, my main training partner, Lucas Klinger, another one of my main training partners. So that being said, Raymond and guys at BST Academy, Hodger Gracie's Academy are helping me out a lot. Also Ari Astafanmez, Sandra Tavadze. I've got a lot of, like I say, very close people, very good people that they're always helping me out. Prometheus Combat, One Athletic. They are actually producing me with tracksuits for this fight, just for like fight week and stuff. So I want to give a massive shout out to them. It's a guy that was actually on the show, Take Me Out, back in the day. He's running that whole brand. So amazing to still keep in contact, still be friends, and for him to help me out now, that's absolutely amazing. I've got to thank Paul Stain and the Coachellas as well, because they are traveling all the way to Vegas to watch me fight. So that is a big thing. Not many people would buy a plane ticket to go to Vegas, let alone buy the Apex tickets as well to go watch it there. So I've got to give a massive shout out to them. And yeah, I've got loads of people that are just always helping me out, always helping me improve, always getting me to the best level. And of course, Iridium Sports Agency for always believing in me, always looking out for me, and helping me to achieve my full potential.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.